Hi everyone, welcome back to the Spring Garden series. Super exciting, spring is finally here, the flowers are in bloom, and it's time to prepare our garden beds for planting vegetables. So today I'm going to share with you how to prepare your garden bed for planting vegetables in 3 easy steps. Now I know a lot of you have been following along with the Spring Garden series and are just itching to get your hands in the soil. So get your tools ready, because today we're going to be digging in the dirt. Now I know a lot of you have been following along with the series, have your seedlings started inside, and are actually in the process of acclimating them to the outdoors like we talked about in the last video. So during that acclimation process, it's a perfect time to get your garden beds prepared for planting so that when they're all done transitioning and hardening off, they're going to be ready to plant. Now if you haven't got your seedlings started yet, now is a perfect time. You can start your seeds indoors about 4 to 6 weeks before your last frost date, or any time if you're already past your last frost date. And if you're looking for some seeds to plant, head to my website, pick up a Spring Garden seed collection, and grow the same vegetables I'm growing. Well, the garden bed I'm going to be planting in is right behind me here, and you can see it has a lot of old plants in it. So the first step to prepping your garden bed for planting vegetables is to clear the area. So we're going to pull out these old plants. We've got nasturtiums here that got to go. We've got some sun patience that were killed off by frost that got to go. We've got some old, I don't know what these are exactly right here, but they're dead and they've got to go. We've got to make some room here to plant our vegetables. So let's get busy. Now it's actually really hard for me to pull out some of these plants because they're still doing really well. The nasturtiums look absolutely beautiful. But as you can see, I'm not at a lack for nasturtiums here, and I want to grow some vegetables in this spot. So I'm going to pull out this nasturtium plant. And nasturtiums are edible, but this is a lot of nasturtium plants. They sure are pretty, aren't they? So I'm going to use this knife here to dig up the sun patience. I'm hoping I might be able to salvage these and transplant them to another area because they did take a lot of frost damage this winter, but you can see there's still a lot of green growth on them. So I'm going to carefully dig them up and put them in this bucket here until I can transplant them. Now this plant's a lot bigger, so it might be a little harder to get out. Feels so good to get out here in the soil. Hang in there, guys. You're going to be out in your garden soon if you're not already. Feels nice and warm. The birds are singing. Mac's out here enjoying it with us. It's always fun to get my hands dirty. Gonna need the pitchfork for this one because it's a bigger plant. So I've loosened up all sides of the plant. It should lift right out. Nice. All in one piece. It's looking more like a veggie garden bed already. Just a little bit more to clear here. It really does kill me to pull out plants that are still going strong, but like I said, I want to make more room for the vegetables. These are poppies, which are absolutely beautiful cool weather flowers in the springtime, but I do have plenty of poppies on the hill here. So I'm actually just going to cut these back and make a little more space, and they will continue growing here on the edge of the garden bed.
Oh, that was all dry up.
Yeah.
That was dried.
They're cosmos, but those will rebloom and grow back.
Oh yeah, cosmos.
Man, it feels good just to kneel here in the dirt.
Yeah, you've been aching to do this.
For sure. Let's get this old cage out. Oh wow, this is in here pretty good. Jerry, I think I need your muscle here. I'm actually gonna leave this cage in here. It's got some peas growing on it. Look at these peas. Oh man, we gotta try one of these. So the peas will grow.
Sugar snap peas, right?
Yes. The peas will grow until the weather gets hot, which is supposed to be 85 tomorrow. So I don't know how much longer they're gonna last. So snackable.
The whole thing?
Mm-hmm. Oh, these are good.
Wow, those
So
are really
sweet.
good, yeah.
These are actually from the Spring Garden collection too, sugar snap, or sugar and peas.
Yeah. Crazy to eat that while we work.
I know.
All right.
This cage actually, I think I'm gonna plant maybe my beefsteak tomato for the beefsteak tomato challenge with Gary
Ooh, we're doing
at the
challenge
Rested Garden
again.
and Jess from Roots and Refuge. So this cage is staying in. I'm not gonna disturb that right now.
So while she's working on that, some of you who are new to following us, we did a challenge last year with Rusted Garden about who can grow the largest tomato. So we're going to do that again.
We're going to do that again, and you can check out the rules over at Gardening Coast to Coast Facebook page, which are going to be posted, I think, next week, and join in the contest with us. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be starting that in a couple of weeks. I am also going to pull back the drip irrigation because we're going to be digging in here and I don't want to cut any of the lines. So we've got the majority of the plants removed. Now I'm just going to rake off what's left and the mulch that was covering the garden beds to expose the soil, and then we'll be ready for step 2. Oh, there's one more drip irrigation hose I forgot in there. Now I've just staked the drip irrigation off to the side just to get it out of the way so we don't damage it while we're doing our garden prep here. And we're going to save this mulch because we will add it back to our garden beds later after we plant. Okay, so we've got the garden bed cleared. Man, this feels good. Doesn't this look nice? I love starting with a blank slate, don't you? So now we've got the garden bed cleared. The second step is to loosen up the soil. So this soil is actually pretty loose because we've had things planted in here over the winter time and for a couple of years. So I'm just going to loosen the top like 6 inches or so with my pitchfork here. And what I'm doing is just stepping in and twisting and turning to loosen the soil up. Or you can lift. The soil looks great. It's nice and black. Probably even see some worms in here. Now what I like to do when I'm loosening the soil is work from one end of my garden bed to another to avoid stepping on the soil that I've already loosened up. Get back into shape after being inside for the winter time. And don't worry about it if you leave a little bit of mulch on your garden beds. You can just work it in, and that'll really help aerate the soil and add good organic matter to the soil. Now here we're working with an in-ground garden. If you're working with a raised bed, it's even easier because your soil will be even looser. And we are going to be doing a video, probably sometime this month, on how to build a really easy raised bed from scratch so that you can start your garden in a raised bed and get to growing your veggies. So stay tuned for that. And make sure you subscribe because you don't want to miss it. Oh, can't wait to get my veggies planted. And guys, make sure you hydrate while you're working too. Now that we've loosened up the soil with a pitchfork, I'm going to break up the big dirt clods with a rake. Just going to lightly go along my garden bed and just kind of do a little chopping here of the big chunks. So far, we've done the first 2 steps to prepping our garden bed for planting. We've cleared the area, we've loosened up the soil. The soil looks absolutely amazing. I love it. Oh, and here's a little worm. It's always a good sign to see the worms. It's a sign of a healthy soil. Well, the third step to prepping your garden bed for planting is to add some organic matter to the soil. And the reason why that's important is because there's been things growing in this all summer, all winter, and the soil gets depleted. So we need to add back in some nutrients so our spring garden gets off to a really good start. First thing I'm going to add is some compost. Compost is a great thing to add to your soil. It adds organic nutrients, beneficial bacteria and microbes, and the best part about it is you can make it right in your own backyard, and it's absolutely free. Now, if you don't have any made in your backyard, you can sure start making it. Check out my compost videos. A lot of times your local garden center will have some that you can purchase. Oh, it smells earthy, it's nice and black, and it's going to really help aerate the soil and give it lots of good nutrients. So I'm just going to spread this out. You want to add, I'm adding a 5-gallon bucket full. This area is about a 2 by 4 foot area. You just want to have enough to where you have a couple inches covering your garden bed. The next thing I'm going to add to my garden bed here is some Vermistera worm castings. I love using worm castings in my garden. I've used the Vermistera worm castings for a couple of years now, and I've really seen a huge improvement in the health of my plants because it adds the beneficial bacteria and microbes to the soil, which help your plants be healthy and really protects them from pests and diseases. So a little bit goes a long way with the Vermistera worm castings. You need about 2 pounds for every 10 square feet, and this is about 10 square foot area. So I'm just sprinkling about 1/4 of the bag or so over my compost here. Now the third bit of organic material I'm going to add to my soil is Good Dirt Soil Conditioner. A lot of you are familiar with the Good Dirt potting mix, and I've been testing out the soil conditioner for a couple of years in my garden, and I love the little compressed bag that it comes in. And again, a little bit goes a long way with this. This really adds porosity or aeration to your soil. So you only need to add about probably a third of this bag to this 10 square foot planting area. And we're going to work this into our soil, and you can see here how it's nice and light and fluffy. It's going to add good aeration to our soil. It's also full of really great nutrients and probiotics, which is really going to just help our spring garden take off here. Soil is just looking so light and fluffy and black. It's going to be so much fun to get my vegetables planted. So right now I'm just working in the compost, the worm castings, and the soil conditioner into the soil by just putting my pitchfork and twisting it. It's a little technique that you can use to work things in. You really want to get the organic matter down to the roots of the plants so that they get the nice aeration, because roots need to breathe in order to grow nice and healthy and strong, and more roots mean more fruit or more vegetables. So we've got our organic matter worked into the soil. Now I'm just going to smooth the area out here with the rake, and then we're going to add in the drip irrigation. Soil looks and smells amazing. Well, we've completed all 3 steps to prepare our garden bed for planting. I'm so excited. We've cleared the area, step number 1, removed all the old plants, the weeds, the rocks. We've also loosened up the soil, and we've added some great organic matter. And the soil looks and smells absolutely wonderful. Oh. Now I have had a lot of questions. When should I prepare my garden bed for planting? I live in a cold area. Well, you can basically do all these steps as soon as the ground is thawed. And then you also can lay some black plastic over it to protect it if you're going to get more snow or a lot of rain. And the black plastic also helps warm up your soil so that it's all ready to plant your warm weather vegetables like your tomatoes, peppers, and cucumbers, because they really like to be planted in nice warm soil. So now what I'm going to do, now that my soil is prepared, I'm going to put my drip irrigation back in. Now you can definitely have a garden without drip irrigation, but I highly recommend it. It saves you not only water, but a ton of time watering your garden. You can set it on a timer and then still go on vacation in the summertime. Super easy to install, so make sure you go back and watch my previous videos I've done on how to install drip irrigation so that you can get it going in your garden bed as well. So I'm just going to string all these little hoses back across the garden bed. And since we haven't got a lot of rain real recently, I probably will run this at least one time this week before I plant my vegetables, just to soak the garden bed down and get it ready to plant the veggies this week. So we're just going to stake this back in, and then we are ready to go. We're done, and it feels so good. We started with this, and we ended up with this. A garden bed that's cleared of old plants, the soil is loosened up, has some nice organic matter in it, and it's ready for planting vegetables. Comment below, let me know if you're prepping your garden to plant your spring vegetables yet. If you haven't got your seedlings started yet, it's not too late. Head over to my website, pick up a spring garden collection. Everything you need to grow some fresh, tasty vegetables all in one handy collection. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.